And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the evening edition of the Coffee Chat Show. I guess we didn't introduce ourselves last week. It was just Karen and I. So I'm Noelle, and in the middle is Tracy, and that is Karen.
Hello.
Karen works with me at Staff Agency. Tracy works with me at Fortunato Partners. So we are all certified coaches. I'm a certified master coach. Tracy and Karen are both certified professional coaches. I am also John Maxwell certified as a coach. So we have plenty of certifications between us all. And we're going to talk tonight about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. We are just going to give it a few minutes. I think notifications probably went out to say that we are live and online. So if you are watching, let us know you're here. Let us know where you're watching from. And I guess, well, it's about 7:30. I guess we'll just jump right in. So fixed mindset says things like, you're too old. You can't do that at your age. It's not possible. You only have this degree. It's too late for you to do something else. You can't change careers. Fixed mindset. People that are stuck in a fixed mindset often give up. They don't see what's possible. They see things as very limiting. They often encounter obstacles and just throw up their hands and walk away because they think it's too difficult. They might get a diagnosis or a judgment on their career path, and they just take that as the way that it is. They don't see that anything can be changed. They don't see that anything is maneuverable. They see that it's just there's plateaus. You can only get so high. You can only go so far. You're past your learning years, you're past where you can grow, those types of things. Fixed mindseted people tend to avoid challenges because they might think that they're unable to overcome them. They also might stick to what they know versus jumping into something that they don't know. And they also are people that believe that talent alone. So, I'm really good at this. I'll always be good at it. I don't need extra education. I don't need to study anything else. I don't need to keep learning. This is the way that I am, and I'm just going to stay that way, and it's going to stay fixed. Also, they don't take well to feedback or constructive criticism because they don't think there's anything to change. A fixed mindset says, I'm perfect just the way I am. I don't need to alter anything. I don't need to change anything. And everything's just fine the way that it is. So those are some of the things that the fixed mindset will tell you. Hi, Janet.
Also, the things are, if you just said unchangeable, right? Things that nothing's going to change, why bother?
Yeah, and they attribute success to, like, you either have it or you don't. I either have what it takes to be successful or I don't. So it's like they don't look at it as it's a learned skill or something that you can acquire, right? Yep. It's like, I don't know how to do that, so that's not a possibility for me. I couldn't start a business when I'm 44 because it's passed me by, and I don't know how to use social media to market my business, so forget it. Or I'm too old to go back to school. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. Whatever, pick something. Yep. That's all like stuck, fixed mindset stuff. And when you're in a fixed mindset like that, and you say to yourself, I don't like my life the way that it is, and I want to change. If you are really stuck and fixed if you have this fixed mindset, you don't have the ability to change, right? Because you're not being maneuverable. You're like stuck here, and you're not seeing the possibility that there is. So I'm going to ask Tracy and Karen both to comment on this and maybe give us some examples. Hi, Missy. Hi, Andrea. So, Trace, go ahead because you're in the middle. What do you see as the differences? And tell us what's attributable to a growth mindset, because I didn't cover that. Like, what does a growth mindset look like?
So, talking about a fixed mindset in my life that a side hustle could always just be a side hustle. And it was just this thing that I gave away to friends, and nobody's going to want to pay for my jewelry. No one's going to want to buy my note cards. Nobody will order a quilt, and that was a story that I said. And so by saying that story and listening to that story, I never stepped out and stood in the place of a growth mindset, Noelle, like you were just saying, to embrace opportunities, to grow, to stand in a place of possibility and a path of mastery. Like I can do that. I can have that. I am successful, right? To just change the attitude, to be inspired by others that are maybe doing it, to keep and watch them and see, well, what are they doing, and what can I learn from them so that I can have that. And to believe that the effort and the perseverance that I would put into it would lead to success. And so now I have that.
Would you say, first of all, do I have your permission since I know some stories that I think would make good examples?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
For people that don't know us, Tracy and I have been friends for about 30 years now. So we each know a good amount of stories about the other. Would you tell the story about your car? And because I feel like you had a particular fixed mindset about that, then you had a revelation, and then you did something different. Would you tell that story?
Yeah. So I believe it was when I moved to Fort Wayne and I bought a SUV from a family at church. It was affordable. I had the cash. I could pay for it. I didn't want to put myself in a position where I would owe money if I didn't have a job yet, yada, yada, yada. And I took a trip back home, and my sister has an Audi A4, and it is just a gorgeous car. Yeah. And she said to me, you can have one too. And I'm like, yeah, okay, mate, right. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then after speaking with Noelle about it and really having conversations about like, why can't I was always the mindset of, if you don't need it, if you have one, like I have a car, like I don't need a car. I have one. Well, I'm telling you, I said, okay, this is what it's going to be. This is what it's going to look like. This is that. And sure enough, it showed up, and sure enough, I bought it, and sure enough, I'm driving it, and it just changes the dynamic. It changes the attitude. It's allowed me to level up and speak volumes about myself in a positive, powerful manner. It's just, and I'm so glad I bought it without even knowing what tomorrow would bring, because I can, right? Because I deserve it. I'm a wealthy woman. I'm driving a black SUV, the Honda, 04, I think it was.
And so when you say not knowing what was coming, you bought it, but that's not really true, right? Because if you are the creator of your own reality, then it's like what's coming is what you say is coming.
Right.
And I feel like you've really understood that in a deeper way over the last, I would say, 5 to 6 years or so, because we none of us are a victim of like that something's gonna show up that we didn't put there. Yes. And I think what everyone, including us sometimes, what we miss is that everything that comes out of the pie hole is what goes forward to make the future. So even the things that we say, I'm just saying, like, if we say, I'm worried, but I won't have money to pay the bill. And you go, no. And you go, oh, no, I'm just saying. No, remember Mom used to say, there is no just saying. There's only saying.
Yep.
And the more that I, dig into the law of attraction stuff, it's literally like what comes out of your mouth in this moment makes the next moment and the next moment and the next moment.
Yeah.
So the way to change the future is to change what's coming out of your mouth right this second. And that, I think, is a place where we can all, have a little bit more vigilance with ourselves, right? Because even me, Karen and I are really working hard to employ this at work. We run the operations for our company. I'm the CEO and Karen's the director. And there are often things that occur that we have opinions about people and things. Yep. And since I have her studying the Success Principles book and I've dragged her into this world of mine, we're really like, never mind. What? No, never mind.
Every conversation starts with never mind.
Never mind. But I mean, it's good, right? So
Yeah.
because we're really catching ourselves. Karen, what do you tell us about the growth mindset? Because I feel like you're really like have been dealt with that.
Well, so what stood out to me most was the growth mindset is genuinely celebrating the success of others. And there was something I was reading recently where it just like rang true, and it sounds silly, but it's like, just because someone else got that or has that doesn't mean that you can't have that. And it's just so silly, but it rings so true. And that's the growth mindset. And in yoga particularly, we practice it a lot. Like, don't do well for yourself, but do well for your neighbor who may need it today. And like, that didn't really ring with me until recently, because a lot of the fixed mindset for me, what stood out was what I used to do was feel threatened by the success of others. And maybe it's just like the time I am in my life and how it's different. Like, that was more of my 20s, but the growth mindset is that just because you have it doesn't mean that I can't have it. And it comes true a lot.
Yep.
Catherine Ponder says in her work that, first of all, if someone in your arena has something or has a great manifestation, it means it's that much closer for you because it showed up in your arena.
Yep.
Excuse me. And also she says, as you're saying, to your point, for us to celebrate and bless the success of others, because if we can't do that, we certainly can't generate or create that, for ourselves. Because envy is one of the 7 deadly sins, actually, for those of you that have a biblical background. So yeah, where Karen is an example, besides the celebrating others, where is an example that you maybe used to have a fixed mindset and now you have more moved into a growth mindset?
So Noelle sent us a list earlier, so if you see me looking at another screen, that's why. I'm looking between the two. I think so. Fixed mindset are triggers, right? Of like that voice in your head. And for me, growing up, it was like, you're dumb, you don't get it, you're dumb, you don't get it, you're dumb. I didn't get a lot of things in school, so that played out in my life in every way under the sun. It played out in relationships, it played out at work, and now it's like at work, if I make a mistake, I was reading an article about this earlier, I think it was on Entrepreneur Magazine. If you make a mistake, like, Noelle, you know me, I will like make it my whole day. Like, I will really be upset. But that's that old voice in your head. That's a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset, which I am reprogramming myself, that mistake is a lesson.
Yeah,
that mistake happened for a reason. And that mistake, just because you did it again, doesn't mean that, your whole life is like that. That's really what came to me when it comes to fixed versus growth.
Yeah. What can I learn from this? Or what is it trying to teach me?
Yeah.
Or what am I missing? That's a lot of times I'll ask myself that if there's a misstep, it's like, okay, how did I miss that? Am I not taking care of myself? Do I have myself too up against it? So I missed something that was important. Am I just being, am I ignoring stuff that I should be paying attention to? How did I end up here? Or did I not say something? Or did I have an intuition? Sometimes I'll have had an intuition about something and I won't, and I don't fix it, or I don't say something. I've pretty much learned that one now, but that has happened. Yeah. Something happens and it's like, I got warned about that and I didn't do anything about it, because a fixed mindset says, nobody wants to hear your, like, just be quiet. It's going to be unpopular what you're saying. It's not going to make a difference, whatever, but as you get, especially in your career, as you get older, you gain a lot of wisdom, right? I'm 55, Tracy's 50 something. As the older that we get, are you older than that? You're up there? I keep forgetting. You're ageless to me. I still remember when we were like 20 something. Anyway, we're older than we were.
It's all good.
And we're smarter than we were.
That's right.
And somebody said to me today, at this place in your career, people have you there because of the value that your presence brings to the table. It's not the doing anymore. It's that you're in the room. And I was like, oh, so that's really where, for me, the fixed mindset for me was I have to do the tasks, and I have to do an inordinate amount of tasks, because Tracy can attest to the fact that in the last 20, 30 years that she's known me, I have done an inordinate amount of tasks and worn so many hats and done so many jobs.
Yes.
And now
you're in the place of being.
Yeah. And so now I'm trying to learn to be in this place of being, which is new for me. Bless you.
Thank you.
But this weekend there was something that occurred on Sunday, and I received a text, and I mitigated it, sent it to the person that can hear. Like, it was within 5 minutes, and we were at St. Anne's Shrine, like we were doing stuff, but within 5 minutes I had it locked down, being taken care of, handled. And I said to my husband, maybe this is why, maybe this is because other people won't even look at their email until Monday, or they wouldn't have seen it until Sunday. They're not even paying attention, Yeah. And so, because I feel like at this point in my life, I feel a little bit of a struggle with this, because I've always been a doer, doing a ton of tasks. And now there's a whole staff doing tasks, and I'm helping where I need to, and overseeing and holding off and figuring out what needs to be done and what's a priority and what's important and all that kind of stuff. But it's just different. It's a different way of working.
I have a question on that, because you are not a micromanager at all. And if you are such a doer, how do you not micromanage? Is it your practice? Is it like you just trust the universe? Like, is it because you are not? I know this firsthand. You're not a micromanager. You
this.
Oh, okay. I see.
Every day.
Can I say something about a fixed mindset?
Yeah.
Another one that you were talking about earlier, not only about the story that you tell yourself that you're too old, that you're not smart enough, you're too whatever, blah, blah, right? The negative side. But also when we say things like, oh, I never get the job, or, oh, I keep dating the same guys over and over again, or, oh, oh my gosh, what else can go wrong with my car? Or, any of that. That's a fixed mindset that you are a victim to your circumstances. So when you say that,
but yes, absolutely. Whatever you're telling yourself. And Karen, I don't micromanage because I very consciously try not to. So, and I very much trust you guys. So, I mean, first of all, I wouldn't put people in the positions that you guys are all in if I didn't trust you.
Historically, a lot of doers are micromanagers because they've done the task, so they want it done their way.
Yeah, I guess it was partly when we founded Staff Agency. I took that year and really re-educated myself on good practice for scaling and scope of business, and took all that Harvard Business School stuff and just went back and relearned how to manage and how to, all of that. So in there talks a lot about those types of things, right? You have to empower people to get the job done. But my husband actually helped me with this whole, to have more of a growth mindset about this whole do versus be today, because he never know he's going to come up with something that's profound, you guys. These guys know him. So, but most of the time you wouldn't expect this so he sat down and he said, you're in basketball, you're the sixth man. And I said, what? I don't even know. Like, oh, what is that? And he said, well, there's usually 5 starters on the basketball team. And then there's the sixth man. And the sixth man sits on the bench and watches everything. But he's the one that can sub for any of the starters if something happens. And he's like the game changer. He's like, if something's going wrong or it's not working, they bring in the sixth man and he changes the energy of the game. And, and he went on to give me some examples of games where this had happened. So then I went and did some research. Like, I looked up the sixth man, and that And that's the playmaker, you know, the game, like the baller, they call him. Like he's you know, sometimes he doesn't need to get in there, but he's always watching and he's always prepared to jump in and do whatever's needed to transform, you know, the situation. And John was saying, like, that's you. Like, it could just be a day where there seems to be nothing happening, and then you get a call and something's going on, and you make 2-3 phone calls and it's resolved. He said, but other people would run screaming from the room. Like, you don't, you know, he said, you don't, Michelle says the sixth man is a secret weapon. So I learned something today. I thought that was really a profound way for my husband to, you know, because of course he watches everything, right? He's here in the background, sees everything. So that gave me a little bit of a better understanding of like where my place is now in the work arena, because it's, you know, it's changing from, like, I used to be Karen and Josh. Those are the two people that are really the doers right now and operate like that. Was my comfort zone, is doing all this stuff. I was Bronson, I was you, I was all those people in one company. And it's just it's different. It's a little, you know, it's a little unsettling, but that's the difference between a growth mindset is unsettling because it's contrary to what you are used to. A growth mindset is you pushing yourself beyond a boundary, or, you know, beyond a fixed point. And so it is unsettling. It is unsettling. Tracy, what's a place right now where, like this for me with the B instead of the do, what's a place in your life where you're consciously moving yourself from a fixed mindset into a growth mindset?
Whenever I speak about work, first of all, I love my job. Like, I am all about the relationship with the clients. And so to have a conversation with somebody that I've never met before, who may not even be a heavy hitter, it's just somebody out there in the realm of the scope in which I'm working. So to be able to have a conversation with somebody and stand in the place of, I have something, you know, I work for a signage firm and we have this great product that we provide to our clients. And so when I stand in that place of expansion and elevation and offering the best of the best and the professional customer service that we offer and the follow-up, so it's just embodying all of that, right? It's taking all of that and owning that and using it every day with no matter who I'm talking to, not shying away and not, oh, I don't know. There's a girl that I work with and she's like, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. And I'm like, oh my gosh, pick up the phone. Let's go. Let's send the email. Let's just keep things moving. And it's almost a attitude. It's almost like a, I can attitude. And it says number 8, tend to take calculated risks and confront challenges. So that's one of the growth mindset things. I'll read that again. Tend to take calculated risks and confront challenges. And believe that the effort and the perseverance lead to success. So, I mean, I know that my perseverance leads to success because of my past, but now that I'm in a new industry, I still believe that I have the ability to learn all there is to learn and to speak to people at the, you know, in the world that we play. It's really fabulous.
That's great. Karen, what about you? A place where you're taking it to the next level?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of ones, and I want to think which one I'm focusing on in this particular moment, where I'm taking it to the next level.
Taking it like from a fixed, you know, noticing that you kind of had a fixed.
I think it's the talk in my head.
Okay. Say more.
Like for instance, I can't, I don't know. For me, it's like, I can't, oh no, I won't be able to get that certification or, you know, get to the next level in my career, or date the right person is a big one. That's a lot of a lot of it's reprogramming what's going on in here.
Mm-hmm.
And catching myself every time I do it. I did an exercise for a week. Every time I had a bad thought, writing it down. So that's a lot of where the fix to the growth is that self-talk. Yeah. And everyone, professional, personal, and everything. Yeah.
For sure.
Mhm.
A growth mindset too, like you said, celebrate others. That's
Yeah,
like
that's a
not
big
only
one.
not only do we celebrate other success, but we cheer for it. I can think of a few people on our team that probably could make better use of that.
Yeah.
Of that one, as a growth mindset, stepping into a growth mindset in that arena instead of, when someone else is winning, feeling, I don't know, like sometimes when other people are winning, like you said earlier, Karen, we're either jealous or maybe we're happy for them, but we are kind of like, where's mine? Or I wish that was me, or, and the couple things are true about that. One, you don't know, what's going on for the other person. Some people have monetary success and they have, physical discomfort or they're not well. Some
Mhm.
people seem to be a particular thing, and then behind closed doors, they're not that thing. So, I mean, you don't know what other people what's going on for them, so it doesn't even make sense really to be jealous of other people, because like we don't even know,
No.
you don't know what their win cost them. You don't know what they gave up to get it. You don't know if you'd be willing to do the same. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to have more money." And it's like, that's the biggest thing, right? And then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so now if Tracy and I, who are prosperity teachers and coaches, if we come in and say, okay, you want to have more money? Let's break that. Let's start really looking at what's going on in your life. What does your house look like? What does your car look like? What do your cabinets look like? Who's around you? What is, how are your clothes? What does your closet look like? Because all that matters. Because if you're living in a hovel and there's trash all around you and you can barely get through the door of your house, all those things matter. If you're treating people terribly, that matters. If you're speaking terrible self-talk, that matters. You don't just get to say, I want more money, and then like more money falls on your head. You have to do the work to figure out what the hell are you, wherever you are.
Well, and Noelle, that's why people that win the lottery, when they have a fixed mindset or a negative mindset or a non-prosperous,
They lose the money. Yeah,
because they're not equipped mentally to handle what's coming. So you have to prepare yourself mentally and to be able to handle and manage what's coming at you.
They didn't earn it, and therefore they don't think they're worthy. And that's the biggest thing because more money means you have to elevate your self-worth.
Yep.
Because there's something called a worthiness index inside your head, and that is really the indicator of what your checkbook balance is.
Yeah.
So,
great, Michelle.
Michelle, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable and thinking out of your comfort zone. Absolutely. Especially when it comes to making more money. You have to be willing to look at wherever you are. Why are you there? However you created it, what got you there?
Yeah.
Before I really understood human behavior to the depth that I do now, and understood people to the depth that I do now, I would look at someone and they would have a terrible set of circumstances following them, and you would just feel sorry for them, and you would think like, and then maybe you'd give them a job or you'd give them a chance, because you're not recognizing that whatever they have in their life right now today is they brought it there.
They created it.
And if it's a person that continually has these types of situations following them around, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And there's probably a lot of inner work that needs to be done there. And if the person's not willing to do the work, it doesn't matter how much money you put in their hand or in their bank account, they won't keep it. They won't be able to keep it. They won't be able to manage it wisely. They won't be able to hold it, because they don't have that worthiness index on the inside.
Yep.
And that growing your worthiness index is, you have to be in that growth mindset, because you have to be willing to adapt and learn new things and continuously be looking at yourself, and confront yourself where, the sticking points are, right? because most people don't want to look at themselves like that.
Yeah, being the common denominator.
Right. Well, most people don't want feedback. I mean, they say, "Oh yeah, give me some feedback," and then they get their feedback. And Karen and I had a situation like that where we did a bunch of trainings last week, and we asked for and solicited feedback, and then someone was kind enough to give us feedback. Not only, we got good feedback, and then we didn't get bad feedback, but we got a list of what they called potential missed opportunities in the training session. And so this person was, by my request, this person gave this to us, and it was, it was a list. And Karen and I were on the phone, and we both got it, and we both laughed because our first response to seeing the list was not favorable to the we were kind of like,
yeah.
And, and then we laughed because not only did we ask for it, we want it, and we want to keep improving the trainings and, all of that. But most likely your first response is going to be, no, thank you. Not today. I'm not interested. I don't want to grow. I don't care, so don't think there's something wrong with you if you're not overjoyed when someone's like, oh, can I give you some feedback? Because most of us would rather not.
Yeah.
However, to grow, that's what we require that to grow.
Can we read the growth mindset list?
Why don't we stick it in the group?
Okay.
We have a list because I don't want to, it's 8 and I don't want to keep them.
Yep.
I'm trying to keep to time. So Tracy will stick in the group. If you're not a member of the group, we'll stick it in the comments after the fact. We have a group called, the Wheel of Change.
Yep.
It's the group that goes along with the Working Coach Mom Facebook page. And we frequently post extra added content from the coffee chat into that group. So if you want to get our extra added content, you can join our group, and that's how you can get it. So, all right, we will, actually, we have stuff to give away. I have a lot of t-shirts and stuff that Tracy's coming to help me clean out stuff. So we have a lot of stuff, a lot of swag that I've had made over the last year that we still have extra stuff. We have some Choose Happy t-shirts and some Celebrate Everything t-shirts. So why don't we say that the first 5 people to email me something in your life that you're taking from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So email that to me with your mailing address, and we will send you some swag. And I think I just put, there we go. Okay. I just stuck my email address in the comments. Noelle at Fortunato. I spelled that right? Noelle at FortunatoPartners.com. Okay. So the first 5 people to email me, someplace in your life where you're going to commit to, you see yourself having a fixed mindset about it, and you're going to commit to having a growth mindset about it, or to moving into a growth mindset, whatever that situation is, email that to me with your mailing address, your USPS mailing address, and I will send you out a t-shirt. And we'll get rid of some of this stuff before Tracy comes to visit me in 2 weeks and tells me that I have too much stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll see you next Monday night. If you have any topic ideas for us for the evening edition of the Coffee Chat Show, feel free to email that to me as well. Or you can drop it in the group because all 3 of us are frequently in the group reading the posts. And we will see you in a week.
Sounds good.
Anything? All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.